Welcome back to another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. My name is Jaime, and if you're new to the channel, what I like to do here is give my crazy thoughts and opinions on trending news around the globe, and I connect them to conspiracies. And it is really easy to do lately because the world is just kind of going in a strange spiral. Not of a control spiral, and we can't control it.
Blah, blah, blah. You gotta believe me.
No. But if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate if you would hit the like button and smash that subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Well. Is there any more cover-ups out there? I mean, this is cover-up after cover-up. This is the name and the theme today. I mean, what else could be more obvious of cover-ups? You know, we are talking... I mean, I'm getting a little, heavy with this conversation. You know, a lot of people are, about this, these files and things like that. But there's just so many cover-ups on like very large scale levels, which is why we probably aren't going to see this. Something weird is going to happen. There's going to be some kind of event, and we're going to have to forget about this. They were hoping it was going to be the floods. Unfortunately, I feel bad, and my prayers go out to everybody out there. There's a chance they could have used this opportunity for distraction, and it didn't work. So, and they used they put the citizens in the way of this and used their citizens as pawns, which is messed up. It's a messed up game. It's a messed up game, in my opinion. But so many cover-ups. I mean, what about Hillary Clinton's emails? You know, she was on record, supposedly destroyed emails. They knew about these emails that were destroyed, and they were totally obtainable. Digital obtainable information, data that everybody just said, no, you ain't going to get it. They just covered it up and swept it under the rug.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
It's really interesting. And what about the Anthony Weiner laptop, which started which brought a lot of these emails to the light, and things like that. We weren't allowed to know anything on there. There was a file on there named insurance, and there was all these stories that came, really crazy, dark stories that came from the existence of that laptop itself. People talked about a really strange video that was going on the dark web that contained Hillary Clinton. I'm sure you've seen them all over TikToks and short videos and video shorts everywhere. Don't know the validity of that story, but only those stories came out at the same time of these laptop allegations and things like that. But they covered that laptop up, and we won't be able to hear that. We won't get nothing from that laptop either, which is a big bummer.
They're gonna get a...
Also, what about Hunter's laptop? Supposedly that laptop was fake. They said it was fake, and all of a sudden the laptop really did exist. Mayor Giuliani, or Attorney Giuliani at the same time. I don't know which one, if he was both at that time. Was holding up a laptop. Don't know if it was the laptop. And people were saying, nope, the laptop ain't real. Then the laptop ended up being real, but we can't see everything on the laptop. There was a bunch of emails, communications of somebody named the big guy getting money, all kinds of people getting money. But they had to sweep that one under the rug, and we're not allowed to talk about that either anymore. There was a lot of pictures out, of Hunter partying and paying hookers, videos coming out of him paying hookers, like all kinds of crazy things. And, but we couldn't see anything else. We weren't allowed to see nothing else about that story. Sweep it under the rug. Let's cover it up.
When a problem comes along, you must zip it. Zip it good.
Let's we got to buy stocks and blankets because these people are good at covering it up. I'm probably going to throw a bunch of those out there just for warning. Just a big heads up. But yeah, we can't hear none of this stuff. And so what if, like I said, this is all a bigger ring, this is a bigger circle. Maybe that Epstein guy and Diddy and all these people were just, little heads of this, organization, little branches. You guys were like branch managers of the big corporation of the dirty, crazy game that's going on here. So there's a lot of evidence of that thing as well, of those things. Like what if the list was made by the agency itself that he worked for? If he worked for an intelligence agency, what if they were the ones that created this list? And if he was an asset on the list, well, then we'll never know who else is that list because, look how long it took us to hear the JFK files, and we literally, knew the files. Which, because it takes a long time for them to validate these stories. Like the flight logs are out. The flight logs are literally out in the public, and they have been, confirmed that this flight log list is legit. Did they all do dirty things? I don't know. That's not saying that just because they flew there that happened. Who knows? I mean, the dude got all this money, was dealing with finance people, and like, I mean, I don't know how the heck you got into that stuff after he started off as a teacher. Like I've spoken in the last episode, you got into finances, are you a teacher, then into finances, and then into like arms dealing, and then into this sex trafficking, whatever thing that he was doing. You know, this big weird that we want to know. With this whole thing we're trying to find out, right? And I think it's just really wild. Because maybe there's like something bigger when it goes on to like a bigger story when it comes to like politics and entertainment. Because it seems like a lot of these people get protected. None of the names came out of public from any of these cases. They say they don't want to bring out anybody and bring trauma, but we want to know the names because we want people to be in trouble for this. Like, so, you know, there's a person in prison right now for no reason, and a guy, you know, did kill himself for no reason. You know, you're going to put out this Google VO3 video, you know, this crazy cheap video you guys made, and we're supposed to believe all that. You know, people are speculating the actual moon landing because of all this BS that's been thrown at us through all these years. And like I said, I'm so grateful for the new technology for these things to be speculated. Because like we just can't believe everything when the news is telling you, you know, all these things.
You lying ass bitch.
It's just wild that we used to be able to go to the news, and there was a time where we all believed the news. But now it's so crazy what they're talking here. Like, usually it's just super old people believe them now. Like, that's what they and statistically, it's only like the super old people that believe the news still, because that's like they watch The View and stuff, and they wear the View sweaters. I'm sorry about that, but it's true. But yeah, it seems like a lot of these people get protected, and then we forget about it when they make a new album or a new movie. Like everybody forgot about Kevin Spacey, and now he's back in movies. You know, he introduced like Tim Dillon's new like comedy special. And then just because he was in trouble, like the stuff he was charged for, I mean, it still probably is in your lifestyle. Like, you know, it's just interesting. What about like the Roman Polanski? The guy was charged with being with an underage girl. He left our country and was still able to make films and win a frigging Oscar.
Damn!
Because they just wanted to cover it up and sweep it under the rug. Who cares about the underage girl that got, you know, her life changed? And, you know, this guy got to be a millionaire and be recognized as like a great filmmaker and things. That's pretty wild. You know, it's pretty damn wild. Bill Gates, same thing. Supposedly he got like extorted by Epstein because he set him up with an underage girl. It was like some kind of professional like bridge player or some kind of, I forget what the heck she played. Like, I think it was bridge. So yeah, and he got extorted for, you know, setting him up with that, and which caused all these problems between him and his wife. And she was very verbal about things like saying that she wasn't happy about him seeing and hanging out with this individual. And this guy, you know, just gets it covered up. And now he's overseas somewhere, like in another country, hasn't been over here in a while. And he wants to put microchips in people over there and like, you know, put shit in mosquitoes for everybody. And we're just not we're supposed to say nothing about it because we got to watch and listen to what The View says. And not only did like Polanski get to win, you know, an Oscar and all that stuff, he had like strong support from like super big actors' names like Whoopi Goldberg, Meryl Streep, you know, and Quentin Tarantino. Like those people were like all about him, you know, and they were just like, yeah, you know, you win that Oscar, man, even though you did that stuff, you know. So they were like supporting it in a way. Because they were like all backing this dude when he won his Oscar, even though everybody knew if he stepped on American soil, he could probably go to prison or something. It's kind of wild. Terry Crews came out and said he was sexually assaulted, and people didn't even, you know, want to take anything about it or talking about it anymore. Did a bunch of interviews, and didn't nobody care. Like, didn't nobody care. Brendan Fraser and Rose McGowan both spoke out, and they got blacklisted for a long time. And then like Brendan Fraser finally came back and had to do like the Whale movie. You know, couldn't do no more mummy movies because, you know, you didn't play the game. And so, you know, they just covered that shit up, you know. But now you come out and did The Whale, and now we're all supposed to forget about it because you did the good movie now. You know, you came out and did some movies, so we're supposed to forget.
All I'm saying, they're gonna get a...
Because it's probably like a bigger story behind this whole thing. Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. We all know about all these stories. And, Corey Feldman's still out there trying to do things and live his best life out there doing his music. And Elijah Wood came out and spoke out, and nobody's really said anything. It's really weird. And another weird thing about all this stuff, like where everybody's anticipating, or maybe we're going to get this list. Voting came out. I guess they voted to not put out the list, or not its entirety, or something stupid, like some stupid lame. We're not going to see it. I don't understand. But a lot of people are talking about their concerns about all his enemies, like all these people that want to, talk about the president right now and say all these bad things about him, and like the felon, and like all these crazy names they're putting on him. That it's really strange that they're not jumping on this topic, and they're all like really tight-lipped, and everybody's being quiet. Which has got like me more interested too. Like, whoa, this is interesting. And now it's we're not going to get, it's not going to come out. It got voted to not come out, which I disagree with like so much. I'm sure everybody else does too. And they're hoping that everybody's going to stop talking about it, and then we're all just going to let it go. But I really hope that a lot of people don't. I hope we keep this running, because this is a big fumble, if you ask me. Like, this is a big deal. Like, this is something people should know. This is really wild. This could implicate so many things and probably change a lot of things. And it really is the right of the people to see what's happening right now. This is like something very strange here. Like, this is how you know there's something really big and powerful involved, because they're just shutting it down. They're just going to shut it down. And I hope we have more people out there to keep this thing rolling. Well, my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. Till next time, see ya.